Hey, welcome to Simple Holistic Yoga. In today's video, we are going to focus on opening up the hips. So if you are an athlete or a runner or anyone who's feeling particularly tight in the lower part of your body, then this might be a great sequence to add to your routine. Just to give you an example, if you are a runner, they tend to have or experience a lot of tightness in their calves, in their hips, and then this can start to affect their range of motion. And that translates to then perhaps starting to affect the endurance and performance. So just keeping these areas stretched will keep them moving and grooving so that you can perform better and you can improve and increase your mobility. We are going to work in areas of our hamstring, our calves, our glutes, maybe even our ankles and a little bit of the quads as well. So if this looks like a stretch that you need to add to your routine, then stay tuned and I will meet you back very soon. Alright, so we're going to start by doing a few spinal warm-ups. So you want to bring your hands to your shins and you just want to start to inhale as you lift your heart and chest. You want to arch your back a little bit and then exhale as you round and curl, maybe even gaze looks towards your navel. Inhaling, heart and chest lift, maybe even gaze up. Exhale, round and curl. You want to literally feel that your shoulder blades are moving away from one another. Inhaling, arching your back. Exhale, round and curl. Now from here, we're going to interlace our fingers in front of us, flip your palms away from you, and then inhale, reach your arms up, but shoulders down and away from your ears. Exhale, round and curl, bringing the palms to face towards the front of the room. Inhaling. Exhale and round. We'll do one more. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, so we're going to release our hands now, and we're going to bring our legs into a V, so almost like a straddle-like position. Now, how wide you go really depends from person to person, so only go as far as you comfortably can because we aren't fully warmed up yet. So you want to bring your legs into a V, but you want to make sure that your feet are flexed and your toes are pointing towards you, otherwise you lose the stretch in your hamstrings. So you want to keep your feet flexed, toes pointing towards you, and then we're just going to slowly walk our hands forward and release our torso as close as it can go to the floor or the mat. Now when you're here, you want to breathe into any tight spaces. And what we're trying to do here is try to stretch the inner thighs and really working on our abductors right now. Just make sure that deep breaths are flowing in and out of your body as you let yourself melt into the posture and maybe even go a tiny bit deeper than what you started. You're going to slowly walk your hands back towards you now. And then you're going to bring your hands under your knee pockets, lift them up so that the soles of your feet are now on the mat. We're going to do a little bit of hip swivel. So you're going to bring your hands back behind you just for support. And then you're just going to swing both your knees to the right. And then we're going to swing to the left. So you're just going to do that a couple of times. Warm up the hip joints right here. When you do that, you'll also find yourself moving into a tiny back bend. Just try to go with the flow. There is no right or wrong way here. It's just warming up our body right now. And we'll do one more on each side. And then come back to neutral. We're going to move into a crossover now. So we're going to bend our right leg and the left leg is going to cross over the right. From here, we're going to wrap our hands around our left leg, and then we're going to start to tip our shoulder down towards the right. So you're going to move your right shoulder towards the right or the floor, the mat, and you're going to grab or hold on to your left leg and try to bring that along with you as you move down. So we're trying to work the glutes here. You're going to feel this in the outer left thigh. And as you hold the pose and breathe into the spaces, you'll notice that you're going to find more release. And once you do that, you can start to tip over a tiny bit deeper and deeper. We're going to start to rise back up, and we'll take it over on the other side. So this time your right leg crosses over the left, wrap your hands around the right leg, shoulder, left shoulder tips over to the left, bringing your right leg along with you, and then we're working on our right glutes now. Again, holding the pose, breathing into the tight spaces, and then when you find a release, you're going to start to tip deeper and deeper. Deep breaths flowing in and out of your body. And we come back up. Now I'm going to face the front of the mat. We're going to find ourselves in what we call a sort of a figure 4 position. So you're going to bring the sole of your right foot on the mat, left leg is bent, right hand goes over your right knee, left hand goes back behind you. What we're going to try to do is lift our hips off of the mat, and we're going to use our left hand to help us do that as we reach forward and try to touch the floor with our right hand. Now when you do that, you're going to work into the calves, we're working our ankles and also our Achilles tendons. So you're going to hold that for a breath or two, and then you're going to release and do that on the other side. If you're able to bring the sole of your foot entirely on the mat, that's good. If not, just stay on the ball of your foot. We'll do that one more time on each side. And you'll notice that the further you try to go, the deeper you get into the stretch. So you're going to work on it based on your comfort level. And release. And now we'll make our way onto our hands and knees. Coming onto the balls of both our feet and then extending our right leg back behind us, you're going to press into the ball of your right foot now. So we're trying to work on stretching out those arches, the fascia, the connective tissue, and just press into it. And now from here, you're going to rock your body forward, and then you're going to rock your body back. So we're working into the calves as well. And when you rock your body back, and once you come to a point where you start to feel that stretch, just hold it. Hold it for a breath or two, and then come back forward, and then rock your body back again. So every single time, you're probably going to be able to go a little bit deeper and deeper into it. So just play around with it, see what level feels good for you, and then we'll switch sides. So now we're going to extend that left leg back behind us. So you're on the ball of the left foot, and then rock your body forward and back. Feel that stretch, hold it, rock your body forward and back. Feel it, hold it. So you're going to play around with this, or if you want to take this a little deeper, you're going to move into plank pose by lifting both your knees off of the mat. So you're on a plank. So this is going to be slightly more challenging, so you can always drop your knees at any point in time. Otherwise, you're going to be in your plank pose. And then from here, you're going to bend one knee as you press into the ball of the other foot, and then switch. So you're just going to do that a couple times. And again, if this is too much for you, always drop your knees and go back to the previous version. And then when you're ready, release your knees down onto the mat. Bring your feet as wide as the mat, sink your hips back, and rest in child's pose. And then from here, we're going to rise up. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up, downward facing dog. Press into your heels, press into your hands. You want to feel as if your sit bones are trying to reach up towards the ceiling as you draw your navel in towards your back body. And then look at the space in between your hands. Walk, step, or jump forward and fold forward. Inhale, arms reach up, growing tall. And exhale, hands to your heart center, and then by your side. From here, we're gonna lift our arms up one more time, reaching up, fingertips reach up. Exhale and fold, hinging from your hips, leading with your chest. Inhaling halfway up, exhale and step that left foot back as far back as you can so that you're now in your runner's lunge. Now, very important, if you feel that there's a lot of crowding in your upper back as you reach for the floor, use blocks or a stack of books or anything that you have at hand to bring the earth closer to you so that you have a nice long back. Otherwise, if you're comfortable with your hands on the mat, you can keep your hands on the mat. You're going to press into the ball of your left foot here, and you're going to try to find length in your spine. So you want to feel as if you're trying to move your torso out and away from your hips. So your chest is nice and lifted. And the idea is to hold these poses for a while. That's how we find release. So breathe into your tight spaces. And if at any point in time you get tired, you can always drop your left knee on the mat, take a breath or two, take a break, and then lift back into your runner's lunge. You want to keep your shoulders away from your ears. And now we're going to move up a little bit. So you're going to bring your hands to your thighs. And if this is good enough for you, you're going to stay here. Or if you're able to lift your arms up, you're going to lift your arms up. We're now in what we call a crescent lunge. So you're either going to go back to doing what you were doing, you're either going to stay here, or if you want to go further, you're going to bring your hands to your hips and we're going to work on our glutes. So you're going to start to bend your left knee, but you don't want to touch the mat, almost touch the mat, and then straighten that left leg again. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. We'll do that one more time. You got this. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Lift your arms up. Reach up, maybe even find a back bend. Exhale, hands touch the mat. Small break. Drop your left knee onto the mat. We're going to move into half monkey pose. So we're going to start to straighten our right leg so that we're on the heel of our right foot. The left hip is just above the left knee. And then you're going to tuck your toes towards you. So you're going to flex your foot and have those toes pointing towards you. Right leg is straight. And again, if this is as far as you can go, that's completely fine, totally cool. Otherwise, if you have a little more flexibility or availability, you can start to bend over your extended leg. So we're taking this into our hamstrings. Deep breaths flowing in and out of your body. And as you exhale, you're going to bring the sole of your right foot back on the mat. Tuck your left toes under, lift up, so you're once again in your runner's lunge, our favorite pose for the day. So we're going to be transitioning in and out of the runner's lunge here. Now from here, you're going to bring both your hands to the inside of your right thigh. And then you're going to walk those hands out towards the left as far as you can. And then you're going to bend at your elbows and start to lower your torso onto the mat. When you do that, try not to bend your left knee. Try to keep it straight and just move down deep. Remember, you don't have to do every single pose or move in the sequence. Only do the ones that are comfortable for you, and then slowly build your way up onto the other ones. And then walking our hands back to frame our front foot. We're now going to start to straighten our front leg. And you're still going to be on the ball of your left foot, and then fold over your extended leg. Melting down deeper after every release. And then rising, rebending your right knee, dropping your left knee on the mat, move back into neutral tabletop, and we'll take it from here into some cats and cows. Inhale, heart and chest lift, gaze lifts, tailbone lifts. Exhale, round and curl. Inhaling. exhale, tailbone tucks under, release your head and your neck. Coming back to neutral, you're going to tuck your toes under, lift back up, downward facing dog. From here, let's start to walk our hands back towards our feet. And then you're going to grab opposite elbows to clasp, release your back, let your torso hang down, crown of the head reach down, and just ragdoll yourself from side to side. Releasing your hands back down onto the mat, we're going to bend our knees and slowly curl our spine up to standing. Now from here, we will make our way back to the front of the mat, and we'll do this on the other side. So we're going to inhale our arms up again, arms reaching up, fingertips reach up, exhale and fold. Inhaling halfway up, and this time we're going to step our right foot back as far back as you can into your runner's lunge again. So let's hold our runner's lunge on this side of the body. Now, if you have a tendency to drop your hands flat onto the mat, you want to avoid that, because then what we do is we dump a lot of weight in our hands, and that takes away from the lower part of our body. So you want to try to come up on your fingertips if that's possible for you. You want to keep that back foot lifted, and you want to keep the lower part of your body engaged by engaging your core. So you're actually sort of trying to hug your thighs towards one another, and you want to keep your pelvic floor lifted. And from here, we're going to take it up a notch. So you're either going to stay here, or you're going to bring your hands to your thighs, as we did on the other side, and then lift your arms up into what we call the crescent lunge. Now again, if this is good for you, you're going to stay here. That's completely cool. Or you're going to bring your hands to your hips. We're going to work on our glutes on this side. So from here, we're going to start to bend our right knee, almost touching the mat, and then lift up and straighten that right leg. Do that again. Exhale as you bend, inhale as you straighten. Remember, this entire time your front knee stays bent. Exhale one last time. You got this. Maybe even hold. Inhale, straighten. Arms reach up. Maybe even a back bend. Exhale, release those hands back into your runner's lunge. Let's walk these hands out to the side now. So you're going to bring both your hands to the inside of your left thigh, and then you're going to start to walk these hands towards the right. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to bring your hands apart a little bit, press firmly into your feet, and then see if you can try to lower your torso a little bit onto the mat. Now remember, there's a tendency for us to sort of push our left hip out when we do that. You want to keep your left hip tucked in and under. And then we're going to move our hands back. You're going to soften your right knee on the mat, untuck your toes, and we're going to move into the half monkey pose. So you're going to bring your hands to frame your front foot, and then we're going to start to straighten our left leg so that we're on the heel of the left foot. Your right hip is just above your right knee. Left toes are pointing towards you, foot is flexed, and then you're going to fold over your extended leg. The reason we emphasize on keeping the foot flexed is because if you point your toes, you actually lose the stretch in your hamstring. So you want to aim to have that foot flexed. And if that means you can't fold forward, that's fine. You can work your way down with time and practice. Now we're going to re-bend. The sole of our left foot is on the mat. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee up, once again in our runner's lunge. And now we're going to start to straighten our left leg. And then fold over your extended leg. You're still going to be on the ball of the right foot. and rising back up, softening your right knee onto the mat. You're going to bring your hands out in front of you, tuck your right toes under, lift your knee up again, and then step that right foot forward to meet your left foot and fold forward. Inhale, rising up, arms reach up, and exhale, hands to your heart. And now we're going to begin our descent. So you want to keep your hands in prayer, lift yourself up on your tippy toes, and in a slow and controlled manner, you're going to start to bend your knees and lower yourself onto the mat. Now, the slower you go, the more challenging this gets. Once you're down, you can place your hands behind you to help you back on your mat, and then extend your legs out in front of you and make your back find its way on the mat. If you want to take this into the core, one last bit, you're going to bring the soles of your feet on the mat, lift your heart and chest, extend your arms out in front of you, and then let your back make its way down onto the mat, once again in a slow and controlled manner. And when you're down, just release and relax. Now just keep the soles of your feet on the mat. You want to bring your left ankle on top of your right thigh. Now we're going to wrap our hands around our right thigh. Draw that right thigh in closer to your body. Left elbow is going to push that left thigh away from you. You want to make sure that both feet are flexed. Once again, for the same reason, to keep the lower part of your body engaged. Now release, and we'll take this on the other side. So your right ankle makes it on top of the left thigh. You want to draw or wrap your hands around your left thigh, and then draw that left thigh in closer to your body. Right elbow is pushing the right inner thigh away from you, and both your feet are flexed. One last chance to breathe into any tight spaces. And releasing. We'll move into a supine twist to sort of seal everything in. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a tight squeeze, and then you want to extend your arms out into a T. Let both your knees drop to the left while you turn your gaze to look towards your right fingertips. Reaching those knees back up to the center, and then releasing them to the right while you turn your gaze to look towards your left fingertips. You want to try to relax your shoulders down onto the mat here. If they don't make it to the mat, that's fine, but you want to try to relax the muscles of your upper back. And then bringing your knees back to center, giving yourself one more tight squeeze, and then you can rock yourself back to seated. So this was it for our stretches for our athletes in today's session. If this was something that worked for you, then stay tuned and I will be back with some more videos for athletes and runners.